As we reach the age of 60 and beyond, the idea of friendship and social connections can start to feel different. For many, the thought of being alone may seem daunting, but what if I told you that embracing independence during this time of life could be the key to a happier, more fulfilling existence? In fact, spending time alone doesn't have to mean loneliness. It can be an opportunity to focus on yourself, your passions, and your well-being without the distractions of everyday social obligations. By learning to enjoy solitude, you might just discover a new sense of freedom and joy that you didn't know was possible. So before you dismiss the idea of being independent after 60, take a moment to consider the possibilities. Sometimes stepping away from the constant need for social interaction can lead to personal growth in a more peaceful, balanced life. If you're curious about how this shift can bring you closer to your best life, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more insights. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share your experiences or leave a comment below. As we age, the way we view friendships and connections tends to shift. When we're younger, the need for socialization, companionship, and validation from others feels essential. But what happens when the years start to stack up and our priorities change? You've likely heard that friends are the family you choose. But when you hit that milestone age, 60 or beyond, could the reality be that what you really need is solitude and self-reliance, rather than a group of people constantly vying for your time? Imagine this. It's a quiet morning. The sun is gently filtering through the windows, casting golden light across your favorite chair. You're sipping a cup of tea, reading a book, and the world outside feels distant. You're at peace. Now ask yourself, does this moment feel fulfilling because of the people around you, or is it because you've created a space where you're content, just as you are, with no one else to please but yourself? Here's the reality. After 60, the pressures of social obligations, pleasing others, or even keeping up with the latest trends and group dynamics start to feel less important. You've lived through enough experiences to know that the friendships you've held dear might not necessarily offer the emotional support you need anymore. So why keep chasing after relationships that drain you rather than nourish you? Let's explore why, as we age, living independently, emotionally and physically, might actually be the secret to a happier life. First, let's talk about the freedom that comes with independence. You see, as we get older, we begin to realize that our time is one of our most valuable resources. No longer bound by the urgency of meeting friends, attending social gatherings, or hosting parties, we have the opportunity to spend our days in alignment with our true desires and passions. There's no pressure to fit into someone else's schedule or expectations. Want to spend a Saturday afternoon at a museum? Go for it. Feel like taking a walk by the beach without having to coordinate with anyone? Now you can. That sense of freedom is priceless and far too often overlooked in favor of maintaining friendships that may no longer serve your evolving needs. Then there's the matter of emotional energy. As we age, we realize that not all friendships are created equal. Many relationships, particularly those we've had for decades, can feel more like an obligation than a source of joy. And let's be honest, some friendships become toxic or one-sided, with people demanding more from you than you can give. Constantly pouring energy into these connections can be emotionally draining, leaving you with little to nurture your own well-being. But what if you decided to step back from these draining relationships and started focusing on yourself? When you embrace solitude, you find the space to reconnect with your inner self, to focus on self-care, and to nurture your emotional health without the stress of external expectations. Now let's address the fear many people have when considering independence in old age, the fear of loneliness. It's a common concern, but here's the truth. Loneliness doesn't have to mean isolation. It can actually be an opportunity for self-discovery. Being alone without the constant noise of social interactions allows you to get closer to who you truly are, to reflect on your life, your passions, and your desires. You might be surprised at how much more connected you feel to yourself when you're not distracted by the needs and demands of others. In fact, many people report that the happiest years of their lives were the ones they spent learning to love and trust themselves. Of course, it's important to differentiate between loneliness and solitude. While they might seem similar on the surface, they're vastly different experiences. Loneliness is that painful feeling of being disconnected from others, while solitude is an empowering choice to be alone without feeling deprived. When you embrace solitude, you take control of your life, choosing when and how you want to engage with the world around you. You're no longer dependent on external validation to feel good about yourself, which brings an incredible sense of peace and contentment. The next reason why embracing independence after 60 can be so liberating is the fact that you're no longer burdened by the need for constant social approval. In our younger years, we often define our worth based on the approval of others, whether it's through friendships, work achievements, or social circles. But after 60, this need starts to fade away. You've lived long enough to realize that what truly matters is how you feel about yourself, not what others think of you. By letting go of the desire to please people, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and emotional turmoil. This shift in perspective is one of the most profound ways independence enhances your life. You can start doing things simply because they make you happy, not because they are expected of you. In addition, after 60, we often develop a clearer sense of what truly matters in life. As time becomes more precious, we start to prioritize things that bring us joy and fulfillment. While friendships can still be valuable, they no longer hold the same importance as they might have in your younger years. Instead of spending time maintaining superficial relationships or navigating complicated social dynamics, you can focus on what truly brings meaning to your life, whether it's pursuing a hobby, traveling, or simply enjoying your personal time. The clarity that comes with age allows you to live more intentionally, which can lead to greater happiness and satisfaction. But here's the thing. Independence doesn't mean completely shutting yourself off from the world. It doesn't mean that you have to live in isolation or avoid social connections altogether. It simply means that you're free to choose the relationships and interactions that nourish you without feeling obligated to maintain every friendship you've ever had. You're free to decide who deserves your time and energy and who doesn't. This selective approach to socializing can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections with others, without the baggage of forced interactions or unnecessary drama. As you navigate life after 60, you may find that the people who truly matter, the ones who accept you for who you are and don't demand more than you can give, will naturally gravitate into your life. These are the kinds of people who support your independence and encourage your growth, not the ones who drain you. The beauty of aging is that you begin to understand your value and your worth, and you no longer feel the need to keep up appearances or cater to others' expectations. Let's not forget the physical benefits of embracing independence. When you don't have to worry about keeping up with social events or maintaining numerous friendships, you give yourself the opportunity to focus on your health and well-being. You have more time to exercise, cook nutritious meals, or simply relax. Without the added stress of social obligations, your body can relax, heal, and rejuvenate. It's a form of self-care that often gets overlooked in favor of keeping up with others. But in reality, the more you care for yourself, the more energy and vitality you have to pursue the things that truly matter. In conclusion, independence after 60 isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about finding the courage to let go of what no longer serves you, whether that's outdated friendships, societal expectations, or the fear of loneliness. By embracing solitude, you give yourself the space to live a life that is truly yours, filled with clarity, joy, and peace. You'll be amazed at how much more vibrant, fulfilled, and happy you can be when you embrace independence and stop relying on others to define your happiness. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to be constantly surrounded by friends to live a fulfilling life after 60. In fact, embracing your independence might be the key to unlocking a more peaceful, joyful, and authentic existence. Remember, the best company you can have is your own, and sometimes the greatest friendships you'll ever form are with the person staring back at you in the mirror. So go ahead, embrace the freedom, live life on your terms. After all, you've earned it.